Purchased power, power to purchase. What's the difference in reframing three of the same words? They look about the same, sound about the same, and tickle your brain just about the same way. The difference in my life? Well, one of them simply states the ability to purchase something, and the other would lead to the never-ending escape from a deadly disease. But power, real power, lays beyond the cart. It's like invisible cash, disappearing from our wallet of consciousness, unseen, but without fail, still present. Almost as if you lingered around a supermarket, trapped in the maze of glorified packaging and empty promises, while the true purchase is deeper than the surface. See, what you hold in your hand rarely compares to what holds you. And yet, we constantly let it go unseen, even when it hugs us the tightest. But hardly if ever what holds you lays in plain sight. Like the secret ingredient in a popular dish, it's hidden and creeps a little lower than the outer shell, invisible until it reforms the whole recipe. That's how celiac struck me. My doctor mumbled three basic words. You have celiac. The words swept away in the ignorant ones of my mind. Beyond everything, it was any other exotic name pulled from a clinical dictionary. I heard everything, yet I could feel nothing. Not initially. On the contrary, those words rang loud and clear in every bone in my parents' body. They made an attempt to alert me, but since I failed to notice this indestructible chain tangling my existence, why would I respond? If everything felt the same to me, what better would I know? It was merely an expression of words, yet they viewed it as a world on the edge of falling apart. It was undoubtable that denial was a pleasant place to call home. Diagnosed or not, I would persist in gorging in baked goods and rebellious products. It was all pointless regardless. I figured I could simply steer away from the aftermath, like my body was a passenger, ready to ride along. But purchased power and power to purchase. How could I have granted a simple, yet complex purchase, infinite power? Despite the protests in my own flesh, each and every bite was an act of defeat. I lost this war. Against myself, I was taken aback by the piercing pain included in this 2-for-1 deal. And gradually, the repercussions shined as clear as daylight over the storm brewing in my body. As a result, my purchases made me their puppet, clasping onto the limbs of my sanity. Bite by bite, I was losing a piece of who I was. I was cornered into this nightmare, as if everything about me was unrecognizable, and every dish appeared as a threat. I longed for a way out, an escape. However, dreams rarely begin with eureka moments. They start with a choice to quit hiding from the darkest hours of this nightmare, and start afresh, on a clean page. So I gradually started reframing the world around me, step by step. It wasn't going to be simple. Hardly a change over that easy. But I realized that I wasn't alone. See, what I'd failed to acknowledge was that my experience was gradually evolving to an anchor for a brighter future for others. And purchased power and power to purchase, for years I had been running from those words, but they were changing too. The purchases that had formerly dictated me didn't concern me anymore. It was the choices I was making to take back my life. As a result, I began the voyage to make this dream a reality. I rested alongside a microphone, extending nutritional literacy by featuring a panel of dietitians from all over the world onto dinner tables. Working at hand with startup bakeries, we were able to provide allergy-friendly treats that not only fueled bodies, but fueled souls. It started off as an escape, and in some such way, blossomed into a path for a brighter future for others. Because when you reform the way you dream, the world at hand dreams a bit differently too. Even so, dreams don't merely remain present within the same space. They diffuse throughout the possibilities of our aspirations, reaching each and every one of our planted goals. As I assembled a community of nutritionists, bakeries, and those vulnerable to their health, I recognized that these were no longer our aspirations. This was our future. We set out to create the landmark of change, one bite at a time. Recall those nostalgic packages of kid cuisine, the dominating meals of our refrigerator? Well, the franchise was afterward discontinued, and not necessarily because we no longer craved the delight, but rather because we adopted the better. Wellness over reminiscence and rations over hoarding. Because purchase to power and power to purchase. In the past, we rewrote the chapters of production history. So if we could turn the tables once, what's stopping us from doing it again once more? Essentially, every item we throw into the cart is a setting stone to the path we go down. As one, we aren't just customers of the industry. We are the industry. But change is substantially more complex than simply flattening all features of our pre-existing lives. You see, we tend to gravitate towards pursuing happiness in a manner that stands as unapproachable or foreign. However, as a matter of fact, it becomes tangible within our lifestyle. Thoughts become words, words become choices, choices become habits, habits become character. Well, character is everything. These fractions of our character become the lifestyle we cannot fathom existing without. And these internal revolts construct the life we live in today. Our world remains stuck in its position due to a composure of forceful dominance rather than evolving initiative. Because the truth is, we can't change the world. We can only change ourselves and let the world around us gradually change. Because the entirety of our existence won't be redefined in the burst of hope, but rather, the power of change lies in the direction of our choice. Each particular partnership, episode, and decision was created as one, unleashing how the smallest of sparks can cause the largest of burns. And celiac? It's far more than an autoimmune disorder. It's a ripple effect, full of capabilities of erasing one dream for the sake of making enough space for another. Because standing here today, I'm certain of one thing. The power we tightly clutch isn't any detached dream or good fortune, because it starts with us, the drive in our heart and the strives in our heart. Because when we challenge the writers of the script, we not only rewrite the story, we change the ending. Thank you.